What's up, everybody? Dr. Trevor Wilkins here. I'm known as the Angry Viking Therapist. If you're new to the channel, I'm a licensed psychotherapist that specializes in things like complex trauma, type A personalities, high-risk careers, high-stress careers, adults with childhood trauma. Some of the things that I use in order to do that are a very popular modality called EMDR, which I've made some previous videos about, and rational motive behavior therapy. It's actually my primary modality and what I use the most. And REBT started from a gentleman named Dr. Albert Ellis back in the 50s. REBT changed my life. EMDR was very important for some of the trauma that I was dealing with and some of the neurobiological things that kept coming up. But REBT is what changed my whole philosophy. If you've been in this channel at all before, you know it's all about changing your philosophy. It's all about changing that filter in the way you think. And REBT absolutely specializes in that. Changed my life. So I want to do a series of videos talking about REBT, and especially for folks like type A personalities like me. I came by that name, the Angry Viking Therapist, honestly. I used to have a big problem with anger. It hurt my law enforcement career. It hurt my family. Again, things you can see in previous videos. So what is that type A personality? Most of you can already conjure up kind of an idea of what it is, whether it be a hard-nosed CEO, somebody who is in the military, public safety, somebody who's a little more aggressive than passive. But some of those things are traits that might come out as like competitiveness, urgency, high-achieving natures, and sometimes that comes with a propensity for stress. And that stress could absolutely start to be a problem. See, the thing about REBT is what we know is that the things that happen to us or the actions don't always cause the consequences, whether it be emotionally or behaviorally. Yes, the things that happen to us take part in how we feel. Yes, it takes part in our actions, in the way we see things, in our life. We're not going to negate the things that happen to us, but primarily your emotions come not from what happens to us, but from the beliefs that we have about those things. That's where REBT was founded. It came from things like Stoic Philosophy. If you listen to some of the lectures from Dr. Albert Ellis, he went back to his roots of Stoic Philosophy and started figuring out some of these people, even in those times, really knew what they were talking about, that it wasn't just responding emotionally to things. What you believe about the event that happens, that does impact us. But what you believe about the event that happens is what really causes your emotions, just what really causes those consequences that come out. It will always be the beliefs that we have to attack. It will always be the beliefs that we want to debate to ensure that they're rational. Why is this relevant? Well, if your emotion is greater than what its response should be, if it is dysfunctional or if it is harmful negative emotions are things like anger, anxiety, depression, guilt. Nobody wants those things. And yes, I know some of you will argue that anger is helpful. I will tell you, in somebody that used to sometimes have to fight physically for a living, maybe it was. But we're not talking about those problems. We're talking about the fact that anger, anxiety, depression, guilt is consistently ruining things in your life. We need those to be more healthy negative emotions. We're not trying to go from those to fake happy, rainbows and unicorns, everything's blissful, nothing bothers me. That's not the point. We're just trying to get to healthy negative emotions. Nervous, frustrated, disappointed, upset, remorseful. Those negative things that I can deal with. You cannot make good decisions based on anger, anxiety, depression, and guilt. But you can't just turn off those emotions. You've got to move them to a healthier realm. So how do we do that? I'm going to show you in later videos how we have to debate or ensure that that belief system, what happens in between the thing and the consequence, is rational. Now, irrational thinking is what gets us in trouble. Irrational doesn't mean stupid. It just means not based on evidence. As a 15-year law enforcement officer, I didn't want to go to court based on maybe. I didn't want to go to court based on, I think this person did this thing. I made arrests and went to court based on, I know they did this thing, and here is how I know. I saw it happen. I've eliminated all other people. We saw it on video. We have witnesses. We have some kind of evidence. I'm an evidence-based person. So why are we making emotional consequences, emotional decisions based on things that aren't evidence, that non-evidence, that's that irrational part of it. It's going to cause you problems like perfectionism and heightened need for achievement. There's nothing wrong with wanting to achieve high things, but the consistent drive for that, the consistent demand for that is what's going to get you in trouble. You'll start to identify things like, I must always succeed. I must do everything perfectly. I cannot waste any time. Now, those sound really cool to a type A personality, and you may even be thinking that sometimes that may have served you, but it's also caused you problems. I know that the type A coach personalities of today on the internet just want to yell at you and tell you to do everything perfect, whether it be physically, whether it be taking ice baths, which is absolutely based on science. There's nothing wrong with that. Things like meditating or increasing your dopamine levels, again, can be science-based. Absolutely nothing wrong with those. But so many of these gurus or coaches today are out there just trying to type A yell at you and get you to do things right and the rest of your life will be fine. Bullcrap. 6 months into feeling better because you are motivated, and that's great. Get in better shape, eat better, do the things that will raise your dopamine levels, do the things that will make you feel better. Absolutely. 6 months into it, if you haven't changed your philosophy, you're going to be stuck in the same rut that you were before, because it's not the things that you're doing that are causing you the most problem. It's not the things that are happening to you that are directly causing the things that you're doing. It is your interpretation of the things that are happening around you. It is those irrational demands, the shoulds, the shalls, the musts. I absolutely must do this perfect or I'm a piece of crap. How's that serving you? Nothing wrong with wanting to do things perfect. Nothing wrong with desiring to do things well. Nothing wrong with wanting to get it right. But when you demand that it absolutely must be perfect, a demand you can't make, now you've decided that because you demand that you must, that you're a piece of crap at the end of it. Because you didn't finish the impossible demand. People must treat me with respect or they're worthless. They're shitty people. Listen, I want to be treated with respect too. And if I'm not treated with respect, it's probably not going to go very well or go their way. But it is that absolutistic demand that you must be treated with the respect that you believe that you deserve, or the other person is a worthless shit, is what's going to get you to anger. That's what's going to get you to trouble. Your demand that the world must give you what you deserve when you deserve it, or it's a shit, now you're going to get yourself in trouble. There is nothing wrong with desiring these things. There's nothing wrong with wanting these things. And when I say desire over these next few videos, when I say want or wish or like to, it doesn't mean that you just weakly hope that these things happen. You can absolutely desire to do well. You can absolutely desire to be treated with respect. You can absolutely desire to get what you feel like you deserve. But it is your absolutistic, irrational demand of those things that will consistently get you in trouble. Over the next few videos, I'm going to show you how to work on those things. I'm going to show you continued philosophy about that. I'm going to show you how you can break that down and find out whether your belief is irrational or not. Because some of you will be watching this video and understand this, and some of you will be watching this video and feel like I've lost my mind. That your demands are what carry you. That your demands are what get you through things. That the demand is what's gotten you to where you are now. I'm going to disprove you. Your drive to do those things. Keep it strong. Your want to do those things. Keep it strong. It's gotten me to where I am now. It's gotten me to the success of being able to help other people because I had to relearn how I was thinking. It's going to help you manage these high levels of stress that you continue to feel like in this type A personality. We're going to talk about some cognitive restructuring that you're going to need in order to combat some of this stress. It's going to increase your self-acceptance, not self-love, not self-esteem, self-acceptance. We're going to go into a couple of videos on self-acceptance because it's a very difficult concept. I think it's one of the most difficult concepts of rational emotive behavior therapy is self-acceptance, other acceptance, world acceptance. I didn't say love. I didn't say perfection. I said acceptance. We're going to go over some of those topics in the future. But this beginning video is an overview that is your demands, your beliefs, which you've come to over decades, your irrational demands that will continue to cause you the most dysfunctionally emotional problems, the anger, the anxiety, the depression, and the guilt. I encourage you to do some self-reflection on the things that I've just said. Maybe it doesn't make sense yet. Maybe it's not all clicking. It took me a long time to understand this, which is why I feel such a strong desire to pass it on to you and teach you. But I encourage you to do some self-reflection. What are some of the demands that you're making that are honestly irrational? What demands of your family, your kids, your car, your work, the people around you, the world, traffic? What demands, the shoulds, the shalls, the have-tos, the must-nots, the shall-nots, the can-nots? What demands are you making of the world, yourself, and of other people? Put those in the comments below. I also want to know where you think that this might be difficult to apply, because I want to address those directly. When people come into my office or they reach out to me for a session online, one of the first things we do is identify a place where this is going to affect you. We don't just generally talk about a philosophy. One of the first things I'll ask people is, what in your life has to change? I guarantee that if it's causing you anger, anxiety, depression, or guilt, there's irrational demands in there somewhere. Sometimes it's very easy to see. Sometimes it takes a little digging. That's what I'm here for. That's what other rational therapists are here for. I encourage you to find out more information about this. If I'm not the person that you want to listen to about this, you don't like my style, you don't like the direct way that I say things, reach out to me. I'll direct you to some other people. There are plenty of people talking about this kind of thing on YouTube, on Instagram. They might have a little different style than I do, but this concept isn't one that I just created out of thin air. This concept is one that has stood the test of time about dealing with these dysfunctional emotions, these difficult things, and you're going to see how they apply in your life. If I can be of help, please reach out. The website below, theangryvikingtherapist.com. I'd be glad to talk to you.